Things are getting really heavy in Vegas right now, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The team is sitting at 2-7, and honestly, the conversations around this franchise are absolutely on fire. You've got big voices in the media calling for Pete Carroll's job. Former players are pointing fingers straight at the coaching staff. The locker room looks like it's ready to explode any second now. And yeah, the situation between Carroll and Geno Smith is even messier than it appears on the surface. The worst part is, I don't think we've hit rock bottom yet, and that's what scares me the most. What's up, Raiders Nation? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Raiders. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Raiders. You know, sometimes the patience of this fan base just runs out, and with a 2-7 record, it's honestly hard to defend anyone right now. The pressure on Pete Carroll has turned into a full-on firestorm, and the media is just pouring gas on it every single day. I heard Rob Parker from Fox Sports Radio talking about this, and he didn't hold back at all. He said if he were Mark Davis, he'd already be saying goodbye to the 74-year-old coach. He literally said, "Thanks, Pete, but it's time for a retirement home." And he said it with full sarcasm. That's brutal, right? Parker even bragged that he called this disaster from the very start. And honestly, looking at where we are now, he might actually be right. The team doesn't have a solid core. It's clearly a rebuild situation, and Carroll just feels completely out of sync with that kind of project. Look, the man's a legend, there's no doubt about that. But he's 74 years old trying to handle a locker room that's literally falling apart in front of our eyes.
Then you've got Mike Florio from NBC Sports trying to calm things down a bit. He's saying the one who will probably get the axe is offensive coordinator Chip Kelly, not Carroll. And honestly, that makes some sense because Kelly hasn't shown much of anything at all this season. But between you and me, keeping both of them around sounds like a recipe for even more chaos. Their chemistry's already completely gone. And what Raider Nation is feeling right now is that mistrust again. That same old feeling we've had too many times before. The team feels stuck in the same old cycle of broken promises and disappointment. Everyone's speaking up now. People want to know if this transition year ever actually ends, or if we just gonna keep saying, next year, next year, next year. Drop a comment if you think Mark Davis will actually pull the trigger on any of this. Because what's really sinking this team goes way beyond just the coach. You know that feeling when everything's just off, like nothing clicks no matter what you try? That's the Raiders right now. A roster that's full of holes, a veteran head coach who's supposed to know better, but the result is an ugly 2-7 record that speaks for itself. Logan Ryan, who played 11 seasons in the NFL, said exactly what many of us fans are thinking. He said the problem's on the clipboard. When nobody's playing well, not the quarterback, not the running back, not the tight end, not even your star wide receiver, that's on the coaches. And honestly, he's absolutely right about that. On CBS Sports, he said when everybody's playing bad, that's a clear sign the leadership lost the group. And it fits perfectly with what we're seeing. What's happening on the field right now is a team with no rhythm, no confidence whatsoever, and just constant mistakes week after week. I hate to say it, but the Raiders spirit feels stuck in the past right now. Pete Carroll is still trying to stay optimistic, though. Before that brutal loss to Denver, he said he's always encouraged, that he sees positives, that it's just about making it all happen on game day. And look, that sounds nice and all, but fans want actual results on the scoreboard. Talking about hope and positivity after 9 painful weeks is a really tough sell at this point. The roster's banged up, the coaching staff looks completely lost, and losing is becoming this habit that just wears down any locker room over time. And with one of the toughest remaining schedules in the entire league ahead of us, if Carroll doesn't turn things around fast, this season's going to turn into a complete soap opera. The team desperately needs some kind of spark, because right now, it still feels like we haven't even hit rock bottom yet. And the next part shows that the cracks inside this organization might already be showing pretty badly. Those cracks are here, and they're ugly. Trust me. That game against Denver was the breaking point for a lot of people. Another weak offensive performance, and even worse, just dumb mistakes and miscommunication all over the field. Raheem Mostert missed an easy block that should have been routine. Geno Smith got swallowed up by the defense, and boom, total chaos. Smith completely snapped and got into it right there on the field, and then again on the sideline. And you know who had to step in and calm things down? Backup quarterback Kenny Pickett. That moment was so tense, but it showed everything that's wrong with this team right now. Geno tried to explain things after the game, saying the team needs to play clean football. No mistakes, no penalties, no turnovers. And that sounds good in theory, but anyone who actually watched that game knows the mess runs way deeper than that. 5 sacks in just the first half alone, a banged-up quarterback trying to play hurt, and an offensive line that honestly couldn't block air if they tried. Carroll praised Geno's toughness after the game, saying the guy wanted to get back out there hurt just to help his teammates. And that's admirable. That's true Raider heart right there. But it doesn't erase another loss. To be completely honest with you, it looks like this team is melting from the inside out. You've got frustrated players everywhere, a coach who's desperately trying to hold morale together, and the media circling around like sharks smelling blood in the water. Raider Nation feels all of it. That tension isn't new to us, but this time, it really smells like collapse. People are asking, where's the leadership, where's the identity, and nobody's got a real answer for that. And whereas yet, Geno, who was supposed to come in here and fix things, has honestly become part of the problem now. What we saw against Denver was the clearest sign yet that this roster is splitting apart at the seams. Some teams are held together by a pure stubbornness, right? And for the Raiders, that glue seems to be the bond between Pete Carroll and Geno Smith. Since the moment they both arrived here, it was completely obvious the coach bet everything on this guy. But what's happening on the field is telling a totally different story. The offense is stuck and going nowhere. The offensive line is a complete disaster. And Geno, well, Geno's just not living up to the hype at all. Yet Carroll won't let go of him. I heard Rich Eisen say on his show that you can't run this duo back next year if things stay like this. And he's got a really good point there. But here's where it gets wild. Carroll genuinely loves Geno, like really loves the guy. He backed him up twice in that Denver game, even when Geno was clearly limping around out there. He didn't want to see Pickett come in at all. He let Geno go back out there hurt and hobbling around. That's blind faith if I've ever seen it. Michael Sean Dugard, who covered both of them back in Seattle, said that Carroll talks about Geno like family. He said Carroll talks about Geno the way he talks about his own daughter. And that's where the real danger is here. When emotions start to outweigh actual performance, the team pays the price for it. And Raider Nation is already sending that bill right now. Honestly, loyalty is a beautiful thing in a cold business like football, but at some point, loyalty becomes the chain that holds you back. And right now, that chain is keeping the Raiders stuck between hope and heartbreak. We don't want fairy tales anymore. We want wins, plain and simple. This next part really hurts, Raider Nation. The trade that was supposed to spark a whole new era has turned into an expensive nightmare. When the team brought in Geno Smith, a lot of people, including myself, thought, okay, here we go. Experience, leadership, arm strength, all the things we needed. But what we actually got was the complete opposite. 9 games into the season, a miserable 2-7, and a quarterback who looks like he's forgotten the absolute basics of the position. Fox Sports and Colin Cowherd, everyone's tearing into him now, and rightfully so. Cowherd went off about it. He said the Raiders overpaid for a guy who's literally leading the entire league in interceptions. And he added that Geno doesn't even understand basic pass protection concepts. Those are tough words to hear, but they're hard to argue with when you watch the film. The truth is, this trade just exposed how lost the front office really is right now. And when fans start saying that out loud, it means patience is completely gone. Geno's not the only problem we have, but he's definitely the face of it. Bad decisions stacking up on top of each other, no clear direction anywhere, and zero chemistry between the coach, the roster, and management.